Yo guys, Coach Theo here, Uncommon Sense. Back from a small uploading break, but it's time to get back on track again. So in today's video, I just wanted to share a little bit with you guys about why I took a break and some insights I've gained from this time. So this will just be me dropping all kinds of golden tidbits I can think of as I give you a little personal update. But a big theme will be on the importance of being able to reset and start over, or rather start again, continue where you left off, okay? So I went on vacation to Greece for a week and I had a great time. The video I recorded in Greece, I was even talking about momentum and motivation, how my entire reasoning for going away was pretty much to build momentum. I've been training and bulking hard since the end of summer, and I could tell, start noticing some wear and tear on the body, some lifts stalling, and of course I could just take a deload rest-ish week here at home. But I also felt like I've been pushing work quite hard since the channel blew up half a year, 7 months ago now or so. And I have some connections to Greece. It's getting colder and darker here, so it just seemed like a great time to go to Greece for a week, chill with the training, just do a couple of social workouts, chill a bit with work, but of course have my client call still, but then just indulge in the Greek climate, the ocean, the sun, and my friends there, right? And I was extremely happy with how the week went. It went exactly the way I wanted to. My friend that I was staying with, I knew she would be working some of the time, so I pretty much knew that, well, about half of the time I'll be spending time with her and other friends, and half of the time I'll be by myself on a Greek island, and I'll just enjoy swimming, being on the beach and being in the sun as much as possible then, right? And then I had 2 days by myself in the city, in Athens. And this was perfect, because I think sometimes when we go on vacation, even though the purpose should be to, rest, come home rejuvenated, I think many times we sacrifice a little bit of sleep, we stay up to be social and stuff, which can be fine. But when this trip was so explicitly to recharge, load up on batteries, it felt perfect that I had already gotten that part out of the way earlier in the week. We celebrated my friend's birthday. Then I had these 2 days when I had literally nothing to do other than be on the beach, swim in the ocean, be in the sun as much as possible, right? So I'm so happy, yes, I'm gonna come home, so recharge with all these new impressions and motivation, and be ready to just go full on with training and work immediately on Monday. Then I wake up on the Sunday and I have planned that I'm gonna go buy breakfast and some things I want to do in the morning. I can tell immediately when I wake up that something is wrong. I've slept way longer than I usually do. I can just feel that in my body, and I just feel thick, inflamed. I still don't know what happened, if I had some kind of allergic reaction or if they have some kind of viruses over there that I don't know about. But for lack of a better way of describing, I felt super inflamed, like I was very deep into my head. Like there's a huge space between my consciousness and everything else, especially in the outside world, but even my own body. It's like I'm slow to react to myself. And this is a very strange feeling, because it's not like I necessarily feel bad. I just feel very strange and very less able. I'm outgoing, extroverted. I know some Greek. I go and greet people and say little phrases all over the place. Now suddenly, because now I ordered breakfast when I was behind on time, waking up way later than I thought, when the guy shows up and he says little phrase in Greek, it's like I almost don't have access to anything. I'm just functioning so poorly. So even though I feel okay, you see what I mean? It's such a strange way of feeling when it's well, I don't necessarily feel bad. I just feel like I completely suck in every way right now. So I started even contemplating, should I stay longer and let this play out and go home? Then I figured, the ticket is booked. I planned things no, it's just going to be for the best that I go. And so one thing, that because it was strange, it was like my parasympathetic nervous system went into overdrive. On some level, I was a bit stressed that I'm feeling like this and that I have to get my shit together and leave. And there were some things I'd like to do in the morning also. But on another level, it's like I physically cannot feel stress in that state. But still, I have some anxious thoughts. But what I tell myself to calm down, because I'm how it's going to be, feeling like this on the flight, having to, go that entire ordeal. No, I was going to say no one likes flying, but I actually know some people that like flying. But the entire process with the luggage and shit, it sucks, right? But what I arrive at is that the observer is unaffected, okay? So the observer, it's for another video. I have that video planned also. but pretty much your consciousness, the one that is aware of your human experience, that's always the same. Even though your experience can vary very much. Sometimes you feel great, amazing, super confident and comfortable. Sometimes you feel anxious or depressed or completely shut down or introverted, right? But the observer seems to always be unaffected, right? So that's what I stuck with, that, okay, some of my social interactions, like I'm going to be slow in my head, I'm not going to like the things going on, but the observer is unaffected. If I can just transport the observer back home, I'll be fine soon. But so I did that, right? But coming home, it's like, yeah, I don't know what happened still, but for several days, I just felt still like this, so deep into my head, and I kept sleeping so long. So it pretty much didn't turn out, my trip turned out the way I wanted to. Whatever happened there the last day, the unexpected factors completely just I was so prepared, like, everything played out exactly the way I wanted to. I'm gonna get home, I'm gonna train, I'm gonna work, Suddenly, this zombie-like state, completely unexpected, just like that, right? And so what I could tell, because I slept longer on the Monday, it's kind of interesting, because I'm someone that has to struggle with taking good care of myself, but I'm also a health coach, and I value health a lot. So certain things, it's like, if I can tell that I need more sleep, and I actually can sleep, there's nothing scheduled, I will sleep more, right? But so what I can tell, sleeping in longer, feeling that way in the morning that I never do when I never want to get out of bed, almost like it's so nice here. Some old things in me were like awakened, and that's also a thing I wanted to talk about in this video. How interesting it is, how many we don't realize how many of our old experiences we store, or rather maybe that some experiences that seem like it's so far, it was such a long time I was like that, like I was feeling like that, thinking like that, that it can come back. And what I realized was that this familiar feeling of lying and don't wanting to get out of bed, and on the one hand, it's really comfy, but on the other hand, I feel really guilty because I should get out of bed, I should do this and that. I realized that it comes from my late teenage years, when I would often be up way too late and then be just completely zombie dead in the morning. Like, it was a terrible morning routine, fighting with my parents. They want me to get out of bed and go to school, and I just want to sleep, right? And so I realized that's the association, because sometimes I guess I got my way and I kept sleeping. And it's that mixed feeling of, it feels good physically, but I have some real guilt here that I should be in school. It was, of course. Now it's just that I feel I should be doing something else, something, work mainly, right? But so then also it's that part that I just feel like, okay, now suddenly I slept way, the day I feel much slower, and I could get out of bed way later than I usually do. Like, everything is delayed, right? And I'm like, can I even train properly the way I feel like my muscles feel okay, but my nervous system just feels wrecked. It feels so like stuck in this parasympathetic mode. And I go to the gym a little later than usual, and yeah, my performance was way down. It's, when I talk about terms like the nervous system, these are things when you just work with the body holistically and you train and you observe yourself, you can just tell these things, right? Like, I know what it feels like when the sympathetic nervous system turns on. And in this kind of state, it's like there's just something in the way. It just can't fully turn on. If it turns on a little bit after one hard set, it's like it goes down fast again. But so, yeah, the Tuesday, my leg workout was the same thing. And I guess what I want to talk about is just like how fast it went for me, from feeling like, I'm very happy with my trip, I'm so excited to get back to work and training, I know all of these things I want to do, to feel like really terrible about my life situation, that suddenly I feel almost like I am this old version, like the teenage me, like, because it's the same associations. Like, on a logical level, of course I know that I'm not that person, but my experience suddenly is like, man, I cannot train properly. I skipped recording videos for this reason, right? That I know it's a mistake I made in the past, that when I'm just not in a good position to record videos, I forced myself, and made some bad associations with recording videos, and I don't want to destroy. Like, I want to record videos when I want to record videos. I don't want to make any negative association there again, right? But I still cannot feel good about it, because I feel like people are depending on it's like both for me that, oh, you know, I've finally built up this channel a bit more, gotta keep things rolling out, can't let the channel die like that. But also for people that I know, people that tune in, I get emails and messages here and there about how videos help and that. Oh, I always watch your videos when I feel down or whatever, you know. So I feel that kind of responsibility. And yeah, well, it's like, you know, I'm just talking about recent time, but it's so interesting to me how fast things can change. How fast I could go from feeling on top of the world, so ready to take on everything. Suddenly, I'm just in this, I guess that's also, you know, a point in this video, like, expect the unexpected, or like always be prepared that, you know, we prepare as much as possible to be able to make things flow as much as possible. We cannot be prepared for everything. Like, I could not have known that I would feel that way and that I would be affected in that way. I was. But also this, how fast I could, because, you know, now, when I actually decided, okay, I let go of the training a bit again, even though that was not what I planned. Okay, I don't upload these videos. I'll just be content with uploading the podcast episode for this week. But suddenly it's like, I feel like I have nothing going on. It's almost like I forget what I even do on YouTube and stuff. Because suddenly, you know, I share so personally what I do. It's so based on what I do and what I experience, things I learn, right? So when I feel like I'm disconnected from my personal process, it's just like, what do I even talk about, you know? And I guess that's even why I make this kind of video, that I want to get back into talking about things like this again, because I so fast, when my personal process is affected, I'm like, you know, I guess I consider it connected to how I make YouTube videos, you know. So I feel like when that's out the window, like, what do I even do here? And that's why I'm talking about this, because this is all part of the process, guys. But yeah, I guess what I've been thinking about a lot is like, because I run these fights in my head all the time, like, should I just go train? Should I do some adjustment? It's like always that voice that's trying to find a way, like, can I still do it though? Can I, yeah, you know, even with videos, even though I pretty much decided that I won't upload, it's like there's this ongoing little, like, just cannot find peace with the thing, you know. And this is when I want to come to the importance of being able to reset and start over. It looks a little bit different depending on like what happened, what, you know, threw you off, what broke your process a bit, you know. But it's just that I get scared, you know, when I go through a week like that. And, you know, I just notice how fast old ways of being, like I said, the way I felt, like my old teenage self in the bed, like that, it wasn't just in the bed, like I suddenly feel like that. I just see how easy it would have been at a different point in my life to, of course, not completely regress to my teenage self, but I see how, you know, we cannot take for granted what we built up. When we have these years and years and years of some kind of other programming, it's like there, latent. Do you say that in English? Latent. It's lying there. It can be resurrected at any time. So what I realized quickly is that, okay, it's going to be hard for me to even accept and find peace in that. Okay, this week I don't train as much, I don't upload videos as much. It's like, it just feels like a whole bunch of nothing, you know. But I realized that all I can do is wait out, because I felt better each day, but I kept sleeping so long and being so extremely slow. And so I could tell I was on my way back. And I just realized that the only thing I can do is not feel so happy about this, let time pass, and then I'm not going to feel so happy on my first few workouts either, because I just know this kind of rest that isn't really like rest, because I've been feeling kind of bad. I don't feel like I'm resting, you know. I know the first few workouts don't always feel great, so I won't feel great then either, but I just know that all I have to do now is rest for long enough so that this whatever I caught goes away, hit my workout, not be so happy with the entire days, like how they play out overall, but just go through these workouts so I'm like just back on track again, okay? It's like, I don't know how that this seems so profound or anything, but it's like I'm trying to talk to you out loud about my process, because, you know, I go through the same things. A lot of people, they start immediately feeling like they lost muscle and stuff. Do you know that now I've learned to feel like chill about like going away for a week on vacation like that. But now when things didn't, when I couldn't train the way I wanted to, when I got home and couldn't work the way I wanted to, immediately I feel like I'm doing too little. I'm losing it all, like with the YouTube channel, you know, all views and stuff, but all my gains, like, I really want, I just, you know, been able to transform my squat so it hits my quads so much more. And I don't train now, I have to wait even more for my, you know, this entire thing starts. And I guess what I want you to understand is that this is part of the process, you know. If all we had to think about is work out this often, do these exercises, these many sets, these many reps, you know, eat these calories, these foods, if this was just the information you needed and you could just follow it, you know, that would be it. No one would have to work with what I do. No one would need help. No one would need coach. No one would need many YouTube videos or anything, right? But it's so much bigger. It's like, when I lose motivation, how do I come back from that? When something like getting sick or whatever we call what happened to me, something gets in the way, how do I tackle that mentally? How do I not just be like, fuck it all, like I lost so much already, I'm already heading in a bad direction, let's just keep going there, you know. This is all part of it, guys. And yeah, I'll tell you this. It's funny, I forgot to even tell you this last part of the story, but I started feeling okay pretty much on the Thursday. I hit my workouts there, I hit them as normal, and I felt good, and I felt like, okay, now I'm back. Then we had this family thing, one of the kids in the family having their birthday. I didn't feel like I went crazy on something, but clearly I ate something that did not agree with my stomach at all, and I'll spare you the details. But again, it's Wednesday now when I record this, right? Again, my gut got completely destroyed. I managed to get to the gym on the Monday, but I could not train. You know, that just speaks to how crazy I am, I think. I don't think anyone would have gone to the gym feeling like that. But then on the Tuesday, because it was still going on, so yesterday, I didn't even go, you know. And so now, because I was ready to feel, okay, it was delayed a week. But now, okay, now on Monday, now we start again. And then this shit happened. Again, I felt I couldn't record a video either. Like, I had a hard time being present with my clients, I felt like. Sorry, guys. I mean, no one said that to me. I guess, as all of us, we have higher demands on ourselves. I guess I'm kind of crazy with that, also sitting with like stomach pains, talking to someone about their personal process. But point being, again, it was delayed. And now, today I could actually go about my day, the day I would typically do with work and training and everything. And it's an easier workout. It's like neck and some arm stuff. And so I'm starting to feel back to my regular self. But you see how there's, I mean, it's not really that long of a time, but for me it feels like almost like 1.5 weeks of just some kind of landing, you know, trying to find steady foot, you know. I don't even know that I'm using real expressions at this point. But yeah, I know now. Okay, now I actually feel a bit better. I feel a bit coming out of this old, I don't know, looser self that I started feeling a bit like. But I know I will not feel completely happy and back on track until after Saturday's leg workout, because that's when I feel like I'm caught up. I'm back on track again. But yeah, I guess I'm just thinking what more I want to say and how to round off this video. But I just let me know, guys, is it like helpful that I think out loud about my process like this? Because, you know, when I think to myself about everything that I do, and that, like, of course, on some levels, if we want to get into self-development and working on ourselves, we're new to working out and building a diet, we have to talk a little bit more about, okay, what foods to eat, how much protein do you need, what are good workout programs and that. But once you've gotten at least into intermediate territory, that you're somewhat fit and, you know, you have good habits mostly, it's like all these little things, like how do I patch the entire thing together? When something gets in the way, when I get thrown off somehow, how do I deal with it? And yeah, I've seen that so much, guys, when I work with clients also, that we have to see it well, this is not the exact same thing. Well, we have to see it as progress when we take smaller back steps, when we take back steps, okay? Because no one goes on some kind of self-improvement journey and it's just a completely linear road. Like some aspects, when we have things, when nothing gets in the way, when we don't get sick or something else doesn't enter the picture, and we can just go about things, like it can be quite straightforward for some times, but there's always gonna come times when something throws you off. And I just see that the ability to get back on track soon, you know, when you have a good trend and it starts turning, that you turn it sooner, that's super important for the long-term progress. And that's kind of what I'm talking about, how I'm dealing with it now. Like, I don't really think there's any risk that I would just stop training and stuff. It's more about like, you know, managing my own expectations and my emotional state in it. That's also a part, of course, because we don't want to feel like, oh yeah, I can keep up with my good habits and training and that, but I feel absolutely stressed and terrible about it at times when I think I don't. So that's also part of the journey, I guess. You know, both when you are that person that has come quite that far and something gets in the way, you know, getting back on track soon. Because that momentum you got going, it feels very good when you're in it, but if you fall out of it, it's very easy to start rolling away in another direction. You have to fast get back, get that momentum going again. But of course, if you're someone like me, probably doesn't struggle with getting back on track with training, probably struggles with not pushing too hard sometimes. It's also about telling yourself that this is okay. These are things that happen, you know, that... just do what you gotta do and you'll be back on track, pretty much. So I hope there was anything helpful at all in this video, guys. I feel like I'm just rambling. It's like I'm not even used to talking now. Like, I've done less videos, I've talked to some clients and people, but just I've been more isolated this last time. So I feel a bit strange, but I wanted to do a video like this to get back on track. So like and comment, guys. Like anything that came to mind when you watch this video, it can be inspiration for future videos also, and it's helpful for the algorithm, so please like and comment. I do holistic bodybuilding coaching, getting jacked and stacked mentally, physically, spiritually, working on ourselves, body, mind and soul, becoming that individual that just manifests a stellar physique through their way of being. And all these things matter, guys. It's not just about the sets, reps, and macros, even though that matters too. So if you are interested, you can send me a DM on Instagram or email me. It's in the description below. I'll get back to you with my different options. You can pick up my training book, everything philosophy, mindset, and technique related you need to become a self-reliant, jacked, and stacked individual. And please subscribe for more content about fitness, fasting, losing weight, building muscle, self-improvement, stoicism, mental health, philosophy, spirituality, mindset. It is a mindset, guys. Falling down is allowed. Getting back up is mandatory. Peace.